Welcome to Why Your Business is Invisible Online, the podcast that connects businesses online with the people they want to serve. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
I'm Jim Filatico. When I'm not helping my clients grow their businesses online, you can find me traveling with friends and family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs, and I'm the AT alien of the group. I love hanging with friends and family, and when I'm not doing that, you can find me on Peloton. I've clocked over 2,000 rides so far.
And I'm your host, John Manatas from Oakville, Ontario, Canada, with my guitar in hand, my Wi-Fi on life support, but always in tune with my clients. Okay, so let's jump to our third myth. Social media equals more leads. This is a really interesting one. I think we all know the importance of social media. Some platforms, I would say more than others, are more conducive to generating leads, and I guess it changes over time too. Like for a certain time period, maybe Facebook generated tons of leads. I don't know how much people are feeling it's changed to an environment now where people like to, socialize a lot more. They show, I'm at this restaurant. Here's what I'm eating. Take a photo, send it off to all my friends. You should definitely come and eat here. So it has evolved over the years. So that's just one platform. But I'd love to hear from you guys in terms of what types of platforms you think in the world of social, generate leads. But does that point make sense? Social media equals more leads in general, period.
No. And I'm going to say just a hard no.
Hard no.
Nothing makes me cringe more than I talk to somebody for the first time. And one of the questions I say, tell me about your online presence. Mm-hmm. Tell me about it. And they're like, oh, I have a great Instagram following. Like I'm selling through Instagram, like hit me up on Instagram. And then I'm like, so if I'll go, because this is just like there's a certain thing is owned media and earned media, right? Online. You do not own your Facebook account, your LinkedIn account, your any social media account. The platform that you own it. And the reason that that's important, I'm not saying don't do it. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But I am saying if you stop getting so caught up in people, like these same people are like, yeah, and I have over 10,000 followers on my Instagram. Okay, interesting. So your email list must be amazing. Oh no, it's about 100. Mm-hmm. Called vanity metrics. So when I say owned and earned, you own, I'm not saying you own the people, but you have the right to email the people that are on your email list. You have hopefully you got them correctly, but you have the right to email them. The people that are following you, they're just that followers. Typically, they're people who probably follow a lot of people, right? Mm-hmm. And so you don't own them. But if you decided, what it tells me is that they're spending a lot of time and effort on their Instagram. And then I say, okay, so when you're posting on Instagram, what are you having people to do, right? Like, where are they going? Mm-hmm. And they spend so much time here. You go to their website and you're like, oh, like, who is going to buy from what is, this is a miss. And so
because their website isn't well built and things like that.
Well built. They're obviously they have no email marketing strategy. Mm-hmm. They have built something that's currently working for them on whatever social media platform. But here's the risk. Mm-hmm. At any time, let's just go back to your example, or something happened. Actually, I'll give you a perfect example. Sometimes, like I have a healthcare provider who does massages, one of them, right? And when they do massages, sometimes we take pictures of that might look like it's something other than a massage, if you're following me. Like it's a
Got it.
legit
Yeah.
above the, I mean, it's above the board, but just the way we may have positioned it, it looks like it might be something else.
Mm-hmm.
Those platforms could identify it as that and stop you. Now, Google does a better job of that. They're just like, hey, we took this picture down because it was questionable.
Right.
And they don't, I feel like they're a bit fairer, right?
Yeah.
They just like, they take that particular content down. Whereas Facebook and Instagram, and I don't want to pinpoint them, but I do know a lot of people who built theirs and then they're like, oh, I lost everybody. Like they got blocked.
Oh, period. Wow.
Period.
Yeah, it's more draconian. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then now what? Now what are you going to do? Your whole business was built on people that you can no longer get back in touch with. Like maybe you can figure out a way to jimmy rig it and get it back. But so one, I think that this whole thought process of I'm doing it, do social media with a purpose. And if you're doing organic posts, typically you're not doing it to get leads. You're doing it to get brand awareness.
Yes.
If you want to get leads, typically it's a pay to play on social. Typically. I mean, even the stars that got millions of followers started it by doing ads to get those followers. That's what you don't see, right? Like they run an ad, follow me, and they have the money to do it. It doesn't mean anything to them. So now they get all the followers. Okay. And now, I'm not saying they all did that, but they spent some money to get followers. And then I guarantee you that, let's just call it Kim Kardashian, is not building her online reputation strictly on her Instagram followers. I guarantee you.
Yeah, you have to have other strategies besides that. Yeah. My only luck when it comes to my strategies, the only time I've had social generate leads is when it's pay to play, when I'm actually paying for it's paid ads, and the actual form where you leave your name and address is right there built into the ad. And they see the photo, they read a little bit of your content, it's to the point, and then they leave their name and address right away if it's a really good ad. And it might take a bunch to get them there. Like you have to flood the zone. As we talked about earlier, you have to understand your target persona really well, use the targeting engine like on Facebook as best as you can. And it does work. So yeah, does social media equal leads? Yeah, if done right. However, let me ask you guys a question around social. Would you say it's a fair statement that everybody should have a social media strategy? Once they've figured out their target persona, it's critical from a long-term strategy perspective to use social media, whichever one makes sense for that business, because sometimes it's Facebook, sometimes it's Instagram, sometimes it's TikTok. It depends on who your target is.
Or LinkedIn.
Yeah, or LinkedIn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that all of us should have a social media strategy. Is that a fair comment for all of our clients from a long-term brand building perspective?
Well, and you said it, it's brand building.
Yeah.
So when the way I explain it, and I've got a couple of med spas that I work with, that the social posts that they do are all about building their brand, getting people used to seeing that brand, having it's always very same colors, same fonts, same whatever, same tone. So that way, when you do a paid ad and it matches that, you've kind of gained that trust to take that next step.
Yeah.
So you build your audience with social, and then when you start to run ads, it's an addition to or an extension of the plain organic posts. So it's more natural feeling, but you've gained the right to do that and to ask for the order, so to speak. And so, yeah. And I mean, we're all doing it for our businesses. We do LinkedIn a lot because we're trying to build our business and become thought leaders on LinkedIn about digital marketing or whatever we're talking about. So the same thing goes for all of our clients. Is nobody buys from a company they don't know, like, or trust, and the only way to get there is to start to build that. And that's where social media, I think, really helps.
Agree. Not exactly related to the myth, but I want to just get a quick thought from you guys around the trend of social being the place where people are now getting found. In other words, you typically Google was the search engine, period. But I know, Kelly, you've talked about this. Certain groups or demographic groups might prefer social over Google as their first choice. Maybe if you guys can elaborate a bit about your thoughts around how things are changing in that world where, of search, how to get found.
Yeah, I think that's a topic that people need to stay on top of. Meta has definitely said that basically they want to compete for that business. And why? Because the business is pretty profitable. So Meta is putting its own search engines in there. And if you need to understand, well, then how do I get found? So as they start to release, hey, we have the search engine in the same way that we're doing it with the chat bots, right? Like you need to understand what that criteria is for you to get found for two reasons. One, this might be a way for small business to outpace the big players. If you can crack the nut and say, okay, whatever, Meta is valuing hashtags. If I imagine hashtags is how they're going to do their searches. I imagine. It's how they kind of do it now, right? If I pull up a certain hashtag, it's going to tell me everybody that posts about that particular hashtag. That's how it works. And so it helps you with how often do I need to do it. And I want to circle back to something that I think is also important here. Like as you're talking about it, and you're talking about how much you want, you need to know how often the platform that you've chosen to be in, how often do you need to post, right?
Yeah.
And I say that because a lot of people are like, I'll do my own social media. And Jim, you alluded to it. We don't do our own social media. We'll supplement. And I think everybody should supplement. But because the algorithms are as strict as they are, you need somebody posting however consistently that particular medium needs it. So for us, for LinkedIn, at a minimum, we should be posting every single day. Every single weekday is what I'll say. Right. And so, and like TikTok is very unforgiving. Like once you start posting on TikTok and you're basically setting an expectation. Hey, TikTok, I'm going to post once a week. Hey, TikTok, I'm posting every Monday. The minute you miss a Monday, like they downgrade how they're going to view it. So you don't need to be the expert on that. Like you're a busy lawyer. You're a busy doctor. You're a busy whatever, fill in the blank. We're busy digital business owners, right? So I rely on my social media marketing specialist to tell me how many times I need to post, and I trust them to do it, but I just need them to tell me, oh, by the way, Kelly, we need some, can you go do a post? Hey, you're going to this event. Can you get me some pictures? Like whatever that is, put some personality into it. So it's not stock photos, Jim, like you were talking about, especially for med spas. If all med spas have is stock photos, am I
the same
really
person
going to trust them? Right.
It's funny. Just the other day, I read a stat that Gen Z typically doesn't go to Google for their first search. They'll use social. They'll go straight to TikTok and Instagram and get their information from those two sources first, and then they'll check out Google. like for me, any repair in the house that my wife asks me to do, I don't go to Google first. I go straight to YouTube, and it tells me exactly how to do it. I don't even have to bother half the time to go to Google. So I think it's changing. I know, Jim, you're a big fan of Perplexity for a lot of things. You'll go there first to search out and explore a given thought or idea or problem you're looking to solve, and then you might go back to Google at some point and say, but 5 years ago it was just Google. That's it. That's all.
Right.
So that's changing. So I guess
John, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I had another.
Go ahead. Keep going. Yeah.
You just reminded me. Speaking of Gen Z, well, this is millennial. So I have a millennial daughter, and because I always get challenged about do people buy off of social media, and I feel like for the most part it's great for B2C. I think for the most part it's very good for B2C.
Yeah, e-commerce. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But services, even though it's B2C, is a little bit trickier because they tend to be a higher price point. And I was thinking anecdotally, you have a certain price point, you're good. But if you go over a certain price point, you probably shouldn't. But I've proven myself wrong. So imagine what my brain's doing. But so I was right, but I was wrong. So anyway, my daughter has 3 dogs. And for dog lovers out there, she has a Chihuahua, a Boston Terrier, and a Boston Terrier Frenchie mix. Okay. Probably 2 dogs too many for me. But anyway, so as you can imagine, it's super important for her to train said dogs. Right. So one day she calls me, she's so excited. Mommy, guess what? I'm going to get my dogs trained. And I was like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, I was online and I found this place that they train dogs like they do canines, and I can send them away you can send the dogs away for training. But when I tell you it's not a cheap price tag to that, she's like, but they have another offer where I just go there and they're going to train my dog. $1,500 that she's willing to spend.
Wow.
Sight unseen.
And she saw this on TikTok?
TikTok. So she got the information off TikTok, and she called them obviously to, just verify. And I'll have to ask.
You hope.
I think she was, no. I know she called them because she wanted to understand, like, were there any better prices?
Has she done it? Has she done it yet? I'm just curious. Where did this end up?
No. Actually, I think she did it for one of the dogs, but she didn't do the send away because it was crazy expensive. Okay. But for one of the dogs, she did. And I would venture to say he's probably the best behaved of the 3 dogs.
That's good. That's good.
I don't know if she didn't use it for the 3. Oh no, they were smart. They were like, all dogs have different personalities. So what might work for this dog won't work for the other dog.
Segmentation. Yeah.
So anyway, I guess, again, what I think they did smartly was somehow the algorithm told them, because she posts all the time about these 3 dogs, that, hey, here's a dog owner, and hey, here's what you could do. Also, the same daughter my daughter has the most beautiful hair you've ever seen in your life. I'll show you one. Like it really is. It's amazing. Very thick and curly, like down to her waist.
Wow.
All her hair. Like most people think that she's bought some of this hair. Like as most people do to get this hair. But what's crazy is she gets approached all the time because of her hair to, hey, can you try my product out?
Yeah. Influencer.
Okay.
Influencer. So she does. But she's all into this social media thing.
That generation does that, though. They trust people their age when they say this product works or whatever. And by the way, click the link below, and I may make a little money on this. But they trust that over just going to Google and searching for something. Because I get I get stuff sent to me all the time from my daughter saying, we should buy this, or you guys should buy this. And I'm like, where the hell did you find this?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it's just a different, each different personas, each generations have different ways of approaching. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just different. And so for us, we need to be aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So to this myth, social media equals more leads. Directly, yeah, not really, but you need it. You need to be found on social media, especially as things are evolving, in order to eventually have a chance at getting some leads. So there's some truth to that one, I would say. It's not a complete myth bust there. And that wraps up another episode. My name is John.
This is Jim.
And I'm Kelly. Thanks for joining. Hey, don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.